I like reading books about climbing, and a lot of people in my family climb, but I can't stand heights, especially not big drafty heights like you get on the side of a mountain. What I like is depths. I like caving because you have the same climbing thrill, but you can't see how far down it is. Much better. And there's no wind whistling past you either, so you feel kind of warm and dark and safe, and it's like being a little animal going down into your burrow. You just feel safe underground. Well, I do. I like wet caves better than dry caves. Dry caves are all very well, but after a while you just feel like a mole. Whereas wet caves, it's like another world. Wet caves, certainly in my experience, are bigger and more dramatic. There's a lot more to look at. Little muddy passages are little muddy passages in the end, but the kind of holes that are carved out by water, just you can go through little tight squeezes and come out into just enormous caverns that almost nobody's been in before. I mean, few people do. Few people are prepared to crawl around in the dark in their spare time for 2 hours, further and further underground, so you know that you're in a special place. Very pleasant. The first time I went, I was quite nervous. My friend had got me into it, and then when the day came, she couldn't come. So it was me and 2 old guys who ran the local caving society. And we went off for the weekend to go caving together. And they took me down a very easy cave to start with, which was almost like a dent in the hillside, really. You could see daylight even from the cavern at the bottom. But it gave me a feeling of what it was like to concentrate on not thinking about the enormous lump of rock over your head and how it might just decide to fall down that particular moment. Because I did that one quite well, I think, as in I didn't have a screaming claustrophobic attack at them, which no doubt they're always expecting as a possibility with a first-time caver, they decided that they would next go down a cave that they like to go down. This cave was on the far side of a river that you had to wade across. The entrance was on the riverbank, and the river was going down the entrance already. So it was you can only see half of the entrance. It was crawling face down, and the water is coming up, running up past you, going down quicker than you are. Nice cold water through the wetsuit, so you're always cold. I couldn't bottle out at this stage because you can't go backwards. It was at about a 45-degree angle downwards, with the water coming to, and it was about 12 feet with approximately a right angle bend every 4 feet. And then you came out onto a steep passageway which just dropped, and you could climb rapidly down, and then it was very tall and thin and everything was fine. At that point I could have turned round and gone back out, but by then I was hooked, because I knew that the tight space is only a doorway extended. And so you don't need to be afraid. There's no, that's how I saved myself from the fear of being trapped, was that I could experience it as just a doorway, something you walk through from one big space to another big space. And so I thought, right, this is fine. I can cope with this. This is marvellous. It was very tall and thin, and the sides of the cave were waving in and out depending on where the water had been, because obviously the water level changed a lot as the height of the river rose and fell. And we sometimes had to take off our helmets, and sometimes we had to bob under the water to avoid places where the walls got very narrow, too narrow for your head to go through. And then we came out into an enormous wide open cavern. We carried on through small and wide spaces for a while, and then my 2 guides agreed that they were lost, and they hadn't actually been down this cave for about a decade, and they couldn't remember how it went. So they left me sitting on a rock while they went off in different directions, and I sat under the ground, listening to water pouring in, trying to persuade myself that it wasn't going to fill up. The only light, the light coming from my helmet, the lamp on my hard hat, while they went off in different directions to try and find the way out. Needless to say, they did find the way out, and I discovered that I'm not actually brave enough, no matter how curious I am, to hide the light and to see what it would feel like to sit there in absolute pitch darkness.